you said though, and I asked you if we'd make it far. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be. Then she said no, 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 no. No, 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 you should. I've earned the cost and now I've paid it. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, please don't go. I know my face a memory erasing. Been a few years since I heard your voice, yeah. Lost a few here, but it's not by choice, no. 'Cause girl, I see your face every day when I look through my phone. Can't delete all these memories, won't leave me alone. Hit my blind side, never saw it coming. You were so wild, but no, I was nothing. And I'm nothing now, nothing's changed. You know I'm just the same. Miss you now, but I hope that someday you explain. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be. Then she said,
Good morning. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Hello, good morning. Thank you all for being here. Bright and early on the YouTube streets, so they say. Hello. Thank you. Kind of a crazy night last night. There was a little bit of an incident, I think, although I fell asleep in PG's. I think Daisy came in there and was chatting, and Daisy and PG, I believe, and Jinkies, which I love Jinkies, but they kind of got into it last night, and Daisy says that I was bashing her again, and in chat last night, when I actually was complimenting her. I was talking to her about how beautiful her farm was and stuff. So Daisy disagreeing in something, again, is not bashing. And I was actually talking about how pretty your farm was, because you was arguing with someone about your farm. But anyway, neither here nor there. Yes, she clearly doesn't know what bashing is. So I do want to talk about something that kind of got our wheels turning a little bit. And the other night, I was talking to Jody Sue on her panel. And Jody Sue was talking about the night or the day, June 15, 2021, her experience in the disappearance of Summer Wells. And she was talking about that flash that went up the hill very quickly. And me and our researchers, we got to thinking about Dawn and all of the vehicles. Thank you, Diane. Yeah. Disagreeing is not bashing someone. I don't know. Bashing someone is just being vulgar and plain out mean and stuff. Um, so honestly, I have always thought that if the wells are linked into the disappearance, if they are, I want to make that clear. Yes, Miss Basham. Basham. Where's my face? Right now, my hair is 7 different directions. And if I turn my camera on right now, I'm in my car and I don't have good service. So it'll drag it down. So thank you, Sandy. Very kind. Lori, you're right. You can't even say anything respectful over at Miss Daisy's because I mean that you will literally be blocked. Like I sneeze the wrong way, and there you go. You're going to be blocked. Um, she's just way, 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 way sensitive about it. But to be honest with you, if Summer's parents are in any way linked to the disappearance of Summer Wells, I've always felt like there has to be another vehicle involved. Now, we've heard about the red and or maroon truck. Now, Jody Sue said it looked like to her that flash of red was like a vehicle that its clear coat was taken off, or something. And I'm gonna let y'all listen to that in just a moment. Now, I'm not saying this is what happened, but this is a discussion channel, and we are here to discuss cases, theories, topics, all the above. Um, and I want you to listen very closely to what Jody Sue says. Um, and credit goes to Jody Sue for this. Can y'all drop Jody Sue's? It could be huge. I see. It really could. Don't know, but it's nonetheless interesting. We have turned this in. Where in the hell did I just put it? Okay, there we go. I need y'all to listen extremely carefully to this. All right, you're going to have to follow Jody Sue with this. Hopefully, you can hear it. Let me know if y'all can hear this.
Things and other places she went, and I'd rather not say those or give those out publicly.
Can y'all hear that? Could y'all hear Jody Sue? Okay, thank God. All right, here we go. Now, listen very closely to the words, but I need y'all to hit the thumbs up button right now. Please hit that thumbs up button. Really need it. Thank you all. People thinks this is my own. I guess Daisy thinks this is my only job or something. Is just YouTube, and it's not. So, uh, but I do need you to hit the thumbs up. So you know that she went other places.
Yeah. But uh, that's the thing. Um, I'm not. There's just things there.
Got it. Okay, so we're going to be discussing what Jody Sue saw, and I personally believe her uh, that she saw something. There had to be something or someone in a different vehicle. But listen to what she saw. Follow it very closely. Um,
But
do
for
you
the most,
believe Don was at work all day?
huh?
Do you believe Don was at work all day?
I'd assume if he wasn't, or they had an overwhelming amount of proof that he wasn't, he'd already be in handcuffs. I mean, that's just me assuming. I've never heard really super confirmation that he was, and I've never heard that he wasn't.
Right. That's the thing. I'm like, you would think,
Now, I do think some
but
witnesses
also you would think, Jody,
say that,
that if he was at work all day, they would have said, "Hey, this man's not a suspect."
yeah,
And that is my thought on that. People's like, well, if Don wasn't at work, he'd be in handcuffs. And I'm like, well, if he was at work all day, you think his coworkers would come out and clear him. And B, you think the police would say, he was at work all day, guys. He's clear.
yeah. Well, I think Leslie or one of them. I think at one of the press conferences it did say, "Well, the dad was at work." Yeah, and then it was just a quick thing. I feel like they did say that to the public, maybe, but
Mhm.
who knows where, what, when.
Yeah. So then, can you say how many times Candace left? Like, went up and off the hill, like, I guess before the cops came?
Well, that's a thing, right? Uh, because there were things the feds told me that they would solidify, or some things would drop, and I'd have to give them time. As things calmed down after the chaos, I could expect that, and things did. Um, there was a door slam that day. Um, before the scream happened. Then while we were out, kind of looking around, we weren't down at the bottom. We were still on 125 property, right?
If
But we were out
recalls,
there on the bank where I had run the property loans. Okay, one of them looked like it was kind of down, and I thought somebody's come here and cut them. But my eldest followed it, and it was a tree limb on it, so he just got the tree limb off. But at the same time, I was like, man, has it moved my tires? They look different than they did earlier. He's like, nah, mom, nah, whatever, right? He just was done with my shit. He want to go back in the house. But, at that same time, there's a car, around obviously the time of the screen stuff and all that. It goes up their driveway, but it doesn't complete the circle, right? It doesn't go all the way up the top of the hill, completing. It just, the traction wasn't right, the color on it wasn't right, And that's
So you
that
saw a car.
I saw the top ridge line of it. But to me,
You
I
saw what?
like the top piece of it, right? I didn't see the whole thing.
Right,
Like I
just the top of the car, more or less.
like the side door top area of it or something. It was just a flash. But I asked my eldest because he was a little bit further down than I was, but just a few feet, but he was to my right and down a little bit. And I asked him, I was like, who was that? And he was like, it's the neighbors. Now, for me, that was enough confirmation, so I just kind of tossed it, right? But then later on, I'm like, no, the things come together for you later on, you know what I mean? And they did pretty quickly in some areas that day. And by the time we see Don later on today, and I see him pull up in the Subaru, I'm like, oh hell, then what was that red flash going up the driveway earlier, right? And it was like, oh hell, that's why I asked. Man, that was my brain going, something's wrong with this. You know what I mean? This color's wrong. It hit me wrong. I would have asked him, hey, who was that? But it just didn't compute time. I was sick. I didn't feel good or whatever. I took his word for it. Went on back to the cabin, right? But
You know about what time this was?
yeah, the flash was around the same time. Like, I mean, because the scream happens at 4:30 to 4:42, right? We're out there during that time, okay, trying to figure out what caused the scream, but we were on 125 property. We didn't leave it. We didn't go down the road to look, nothing like that. While we were there on our bank on 125, the flash goes up Candace and Dawn's driveway. And so it was right.
Yeah, and you have to go up that hill fast, or otherwise you're not going to make it.
Not necessarily. No, if you know how to drive them. But this one going super fast. It was just, but the traction wasn't right. Whatever it was doing, like it didn't complete the circle. It didn't kick in like the Subaru normally would as it gets to peak, because it has where it's the all-wheel drive, right? Um, it had a different, because it's a cross track, right? Um, it had a different sound to it as it would engage. It didn't do that, but it also did not complete the entire loop or even go all the way up.
Yeah, you know your neighbor's car, what it sounds like, especially out in the country.
Yeah, and I didn't hear anything after that. I knew throughout the whole time it was kind of like, I remember hearing a car hit the driveway, and at like 5:30, but it was hauling ass and hit hard going up Candace and Dawn's. And I knew it was when I was changing to get ready to, because at that point I still had expected Andy to show up on time at least. And so I was getting ready and all that. And I was changing my shirt. I was facing the power box in my cabin. And I was putting the shirt on. And I remember hearing what my brain tells me is the Suburban, the green Suburban that you see in the Enton interview. It tells me that that's what I heard going up Candace and Dawn's driveway, hitting hard at 5:30, right? But I was like, man, am I wrong or whatever? It took forever for that piece to kind of solidify, because I could kind of remember a sound coming down the driveway or creeping at some point. But to me, like, I don't register their noises and keep them in my head. And if you just think it's an average Tuesday, it's not going to stick. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, I don't want to be wrong, but eventually it's like, that is a piece. Yeah, there's something there. So, one of those two heavier vehicles definitely went hauling ass and hitting hard up the driveway at 5:30 at Kansas Dodge. I did not hear anything leave back off of that driveway, or anything really until I run into her, 6:09 9 period after I heard him yelling for something. So
the car flash was after the scream.
yeah,
Okay. And then after like the car flash, you thought you heard the Suburban?
yeah,
Okay.
back up the drive, calling at hard, harder than it should or needed to get up it. You know what I mean? Like somebody was in all that hurry. Something was. Yeah, that's the only reason I think my brain remembered something going up it because it hit so hard. But I was like, well, hell though, if that was them, then why didn't I hear him go down? It's like, well, wait, dummy, you're not gonna. You kind of vaguely remember a noise coming down off of there, but I can't say the noise coming off of there was them. But my brain tells me it was a Suburban or one of the two heavier, like Granduses I was hearing go up at 5:30. So at some point, my brain's right that it had to come off of there at some point. I just didn't catalog it because it was, well, them and an average Tuesday until it wasn't, right? And probably the only reason that noise sticks with me at 5:30 is because of how hard it hit, and that made it unusual enough to stick, just enough to finally solidify, right? So, my brain's right at some point. Somebody left the hill in one of those vehicles and was coming back up at 5:30.
So could it have been the Suburban twice?
Like the flash?
Yeah. The flash and the
No,
sound. No, it was a
flash,
different vehicle.
the flash was red, but it was like it was dusty, or the overcoat was gone, right? Like it was dull.
That's what I wanted you to hear about the Flash.
And probably the only reason that noise sticks with me at 5:30 is because of how hard it hit, and that
So she's saying it's a big vehicle, it sounds like.
made it unusual enough to stick, just enough to finally solidify, right? So, my brain's right at some point. Somebody left the hill in one of those vehicles and was coming back up at 5:30.
So could it have been the Suburban twice?
Like the flash?
Yeah. The flash and the
No,
sound. No, it was a
flash,
different vehicle.
the flash was red, but it was like it was dusty, or the overcoat was gone, right? Like it was dull. But I thought, well, it's just in my brain at the time. It was like, it's just dirty, whatever. But then that's really when I see Don Shelby stops at the stop sign first. He talks to Candace, right? Andy had already talked to Candace. Don shows up at the stop sign, and when I look down from where I'm searching the creek stuff, I see him in this Subaru is just as bright, shiny red as you could ever want, right? I was like, what the hell? And that's when it struck me. It was like, so who the hell went up their driveway earlier in the red freaking thing? If he's showing up here, what's happening right now? You know what I mean? And so
Right.
that's how I knew the red flash that I'd asked my eldest about wasn't indeed the neighbors. It was something else, and it was an oh no moment, you know? So, yeah,
Mm.
when Dawn that day and stopped at the stop sign, talked to Candace, whatever, it was a definite, okay, if this bright, shiny, gleaming, glittering Subaru's sitting right here, then what the hell was that went up the driveway earlier? And that's how I finally put all these parts together in the first little bit,
So
because
this
they
was,
told us,
it was like you said that like the flash of the car you saw, it kind of like a dull, like the clear coats off of it, kind of.
Yeah, or like it was really dusty. Like if you had went and maybe thrown a bunch of because like Candace and On's car, if they went up the driveway a bunch of washing it, it would kind of have the same look. You just got this giant overcoat or whatever, and it just rained a day or two before. So I thought, well, mud and stuff on it. So that's the reason. It was just like I dismissed it when my eldest said, neighbors, but man, he was like a teen. He was like, he wasn't in her, mom's being over whatever. So I just took his word for it, but my brain caught something, or it would have never asked who was that. You know what I mean?
Did you
And
see Candace or Dawn or any of them go up that hill or down that hill any at all throughout that day, other than when Summer went missing?
no,
All right, so she's saying that the vehicle, from what it appeared, sounded very heavy. Pardon me. And she's saying it appears to be a red collar, and like a dusty or clear coat is gone. Now, I'm not saying what I'm about to show you is it, but I'm saying it could be, and it's interesting, and it has been shared. Um, let's pull it up. Oh, hold on one second. Just give me 1 second, guys. Guys, I need you to hit that thumbs up button, please. Now, Dawn and Candace have had a lot of cars at their property. A lot. You can see clearly from their pictures. Now, this is a photo of Dawn and Candace's red van. Look in that mirror right there. It's dull. It's red. The side rear view mirror. And it's something that Dawn and Candace owns or owned. It's a flat color paint, yeah. No, that's not a truck topper. I promise you that. It's not. Because I'm going to show you more. We're looking over here. Because I marked this out with the boys' photos. Here is another. Yeah, didn't know they had a van. A lot of people didn't know they had a van. And they certainly had a red van. They certainly did. Now, they've had a lot of trucks and cars and vans up at that house. Now, here's more photos of the van over here. Here is the van right here. Now that looks dusty, dirty to me. Looks heavy. Look how dusty. Yes. And not only that, we have photos of Summer in the van. We certainly do. Boom. Thank you, Kumi. Thank you so much, my love. I appreciate it. We've worked hard. That's the. Thank you. I appreciate it. Looks like a typical vehicle that travels country roads. Yeah. Ta-da! A car seat. Yeah. Now, did Don and Candace sell this vehicle? I don't know. Those vans are made heavy. It would make sense hitting hard going up. Yes. No, no, no. This is not. Thank you, Palm Patrol. Thank you so much. So who bought the van? I don't know. It does look like a creeper van. You know, it does look like a creeper van. Certainly does. Certainly does. Here's Don and Candace driving in that van as well. Don and Candace driving in that van. Well, we've turned it in. Don't know, but it's an interesting theory. Jody Sue said that the other day, and we dug and dug. Where's the van now? I don't know. Even if Don sold it, did he sell it to someone down the road? Did he have a spare key? Did he did he have access to the van? Is it in a junkyard now? Who knows? Yeah, it's not a Yukon. I'd drive a Yukon too, so it's. Here's a picture of Candace. I don't know if this vehicle is even running or not, but it's an old rusty reddish color on the car. And here is Don. And if you'll notice here, I think this might be the van or it's a truck one. I don't know. But as you can tell, let me see if it will. It's an old red, dusty looking collar all the way to the right here where my mouse is. I mean, the vehicles, there's 3 vehicles just right here. 1, 2, 3. Here is the Yukon, or Suburban rather, with the windows knocked out. How did that happen? I don't know. Probably from a fit of violence, probably. But here is Candace and Summer in the van. Right there. Now, if you can see right here, Here is that old van. But there you have it. Now, I had a Tahoe in the front and the middle captain seats. But, Don, what did you do with that van? Who bought the van? Who bought the van? If they are not legally owned or registered, what can be looked at? I don't know, but you can tell that van has went up and down that driveway. That is for certain. Was the hill a gravel yard for vehicles? A graveyard for vehicles? They had all kinds of vehicles in that yard. Now, in my opinion, we have been focusing on the Subaru so much. And notice how Don said the other day on Josh's panel, on Josh's, the lab, when he was talking to Josh and Chris, he made it very clear after 2 years of saying, no, he said, no, I took the Subaru the day before. The day before. He did not tell us. What vehicle he took the day of. He never told us. Now, Daisy, that might be a good question to ask. Would be, what did he do with this van? Did he sell it? Did he scrap it? Did a neighbor buy it? Did a stranger buy it? Is it still up there? Jody Sue told us this, and that's when we started digging. What kind of vehicles has Dawn and Candace had while Summer was in the care of Dawn and Candace? An old, big, dusty van that the clear coat is definitely off of. Always wondered what happened. Well, yeah, what happened to his boat? Another good question. I don't know what happened to the boat either. Now, this is something that he might throw his tools in. Fred scrapped a blue truck from the wells. Now, Fred, the day that Summer went missing, Fred said that he was hauling scrap metal off. So Fred, that's what he does. He hauls off scrap metal and stuff. You know, was this van kept somewhere? Is it being kept somewhere? Don't know. Have no idea. And I want to be very clear. I'm not saying this has anything to do with it. But I am saying they did have this red, dusty van. And what happened to it, I have no clue. That was the first place Don Wells went, was Fred's house. That is true. Within 3 hours of Summer going missing. And according to Fred, he was already saying that Summer was no longer with us. More photos of the van. More photos of the van. Pictures of the van. Summer inside the van. Don driving the van. Candace taking a picture. This is a separate vehicle. I don't know if it's just an old vehicle out there. Was it drivable? I have no idea. But Candace is on top of it. This, I don't know, in this corner right here, if this is the van or is it just like a red truck of some sort. But it looks dusty. There's definitely no clear coat on it. I don't know if Don did a lot of trading, a lot of swapping. I mean, this is a full-size dirt bike right here. We don't know about a full-size dirt bike. Never heard of it. Never heard of this Ford here. Never heard of this vehicle. I don't know what this vehicle is in the back. Just heard recently that this was sold for $1,000. A window's busted out. Don't know what happened. Here's another photo. Of Summer and Candace in the van. Here's Summer. Here is, up in the corner here, another picture of that van. So, I'm going to drop a link if anybody wants to come up. You're welcome to. I wonder if any could be in the wall. I don't know. Yes, this is inside the van. Yeah, we remember these vans. You remember these vans from the 80s and early 90s? They were big. You know, everybody, so many people had these vans. You know, the full-size vans, not the minivans, the full-size vans. Yes, guys, I need you to hit that thumbs up button. It's very important. Candace loves Candace. Correct. The bumper on the red vehicle Yes, your mom had a Ford. Marlena, it's, that's a classic creeper van. You know what I mean? It's like that's what you think of when you think of a creeper van. Sounds like Don has a dirt bike. Sounds to me like he could be one of the boys and one of the boys. Just saying. Um, well, Candace doesn't look happy at all in that photo. Uh, I don't know, but the thing is I've never heard about this van. Jody Sue didn't know, that I was, after she talked to me about this, that we started digging. Here, let me play it for you. For those of y'all that's just came in. Credit goes to Jody Sue. This.
I see him in this Subaru is just as bright, shiny red as you could ever want, right? I was like, what the hell? And that's when it struck me. It was like, so who the hell went up their driveway earlier in the red freaking thing? If he's showing up here, what's happening right now? You know what I mean? And so
Right.
that's how I knew the red flash that I'd asked my eldest about wasn't indeed the neighbors. Uh,
Marlena, I actually agree with you. A lot of people think Candace uh, is the one people point at, but actually, I've always thought the same thing. Why would Dawn call Candace and say, there's someone up there trying to, touch the kids or whatever? How would he know that? And also, Dawn has a history of hiding, being stealthy, being, slick. Thank you so much, Canadian Cookie. All right, listen to this.
it was something else, and it was an oh no moment, you know? So, yeah,
Mm.
when Dawn that day and stopped at the stop sign, talked to Candace, whatever, it was a definite, okay, if this bright, shiny, gleaming, glittering Subaru's sitting right here, then what the hell was that went up the driveway earlier? And that's how I finally put all these parts together in the first little bit,
So
because
this
they
was,
told
it was like you said that like the flash of the car you saw, it's kind of like a dull, like the clear coats off of it, kind of.
yeah, or like it was really dusty. Like if you had went and maybe threw in a bunch of because like Candace and On's car, if they went up the driveway a bunch of washing it, it would kind of have the same look. You just got this giant overcoat, or whatever, and it just rained a day or two before. So I thought, well, mud and stuff on it. So that's the reason. It was just like I dismissed it when my eldest said, neighbors, but man, he was like a teen. He was like, he wasn't in her, mom's being over, whatever. So I just took his word for it, but my brain caught something, or it would have never asked who was that. You know what I mean?
Did you
And
see Candace or Dawn or any of them go up that hill or down that hill any at all throughout that day, other than
So, what was it? Don't know. But I'd like to know where that man went. there had to be more than one vehicle involved, in my opinion, if Don and Candace are involved. And to me, it's not likely to be the Subaru. It's very new. Whether you have the subscription that Starlink or not, the motor still sends analytics to the manufacturer. I wonder if the van was registered. If it was, it may be tracked down to the last owner. Well, we've looked on that. We can't find it right now. But I'm sure the TBI can. Maybe Candace was afraid of getting in trouble and not speaking on it. I don't know. I really don't. But I feel like there's a vehicle involved that we don't know about. If anybody wants to come up, you can. Or you can call the number. Let me get it here. Branda's truck definitely has had a paint recall. The real Sunflower PG mod works. Hey Trav, good to see ya. Yep, she is there. She is. Don't know. Regardless, I agree, Susan. Regardless of whether this vehicle is involved or not, look at all the vehicles that was up there. I mean, right here is 3 vehicles and a motorcycle. 4 vehicles, you know. Jinx. Pinch poke, kill me a Coke. I wonder if the cops checked it over or they scrapped things from the yard that day. I'm sure they've checked a lot, but But this would certainly be something that's paint is peeled off. It's dusty looking. Where is it? I mean, look at it. She said I think Jody Sue said she was talking about a side door too. There's a side door. I don't know if I've got a photo. I mean, I know I have a photo, but I don't know if I can pull it up this quick. Let me see here. Yeah, I don't think I've got. I'm trying to look and see if I've got a picture of the driveway going up. I know I have one, but oh god, come on. All right, yeah, I can't show right now. But what was it said? He works all the time. With Don saying that Candace's van broke, Fred probably hauled it off at the time. I don't know. You know, it could be down at a neighbor's. He could have still had a key. I don't know. You know, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that they had a red van, clearly, and we don't know what happened to it. That's all I'm saying. Has anyone played that clip of Candace saying Don is a suspect to Don? His reaction would be very interesting. Probably not. Probably not, because um, Daisy and Candace are best friends now. She said that last night in chat, in PG's chat, and apparently I was bashing her, which I wasn't bashing her. I told her when I disagreed with something, but I wasn't bashing you, Daisy. I actually said your farm was pretty, Daisy. Auto salvage, junkyards, cars, rushing. Where can you see it? What did Marlena say? Oh, when she said, where did she say, Donnie's a suspect? She said Donnie, Jose, Jody Sue, Pope Francis the Third, Big Bird, Elmo, SpongeBob, what else? Who else? Yeah. E.T., extraterrestrials, Uranus, Minus, Don's anus, what else? Uh, Biden. Yeah, Biden. Aliens. Donald Trump. Who else? Uh, New World Order. Ronald McDonald. Um, I watched Jinkies Lab, but I don't. When law enforcement the dogs to locate Summer, did the dog track her scent to the road past their house? I can't remember. So the dog tracked the most recent scent was down to the road. And at the road it stopped. Now, Ronnie Lawson said it could be two things. He said it could be that sometimes when you switch surfaces, dogs get confused, or she could have been put in a car. I bet Fred Hill would know all about the red van. Possibly. Dogs carry. Don't forget Hollywood. I don't know, but I think something is off here. You don't get parents that, in my opinion, act like this, do the things that they do, and don't fight like hell for their kids. We need 19 more thumbs up to 300. Come on, get it up. Please. Hide from CBS. I always thought someone has her for sure. The dog wasn't given anything proper to sniff. So, you know, I'll be the first to say, Daisy, I don't know who did this, but I have my suspicions. I don't know, Momo Shark. I mean, it's just so hard to tell. They didn't fight for any of their 8 kids. No. And now they just kind of pretend. Hold on. Is someone up here? Birdie, can you just show your face for 2 seconds, please? Okay.
Hey, Jess.
Hello. How are
Hey,
you?
it's Birdie. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm hanging in, holding on.
I am. I was just listening, and I think you're doing a good job. I think it's important that a lot of the vehicles that day coming in and out of the holler are looked at, especially from a standpoint of which ones were present prior to Summer going missing, and then perhaps are not there any longer after she went
Absolutely.
missing. Yeah. And that
Absolutely.
goes for their address on 110, in addition to any of the others in the holler, or some that were never even spotted prior to her, being reported missing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, like I always say, I have my suspicions, but if we get too focused on one thing, it doesn't do summer justice either. We have to look at all things if you really want summer found, right?
Sure.
So, I agree. I mean, everything, everyone needs to be looked at.
I agree. The only thing that, of course, concerns me when you're looking at potential camera footage from the neighborhood, the surrounding hollers, there's so many small little hollers that extend from Ben Hollow Road, right? You got Light Hollow
Sure.
Road, Blair Gap, um, more than, gosh, probably four. Is it possible she could have been hidden in one of those areas on foot with someone for a certain amount of time and then exited out of the area, out of Tennessee even? Um, you go back to thinking, were the footprints real? Was that legitimate? I know law
Yeah,
enforcement, I don't believe they ever confirmed or denied that.
correct.
Um,
Actually, Don mentioned those the other day, or a footprint, and he asked if he could see the footprint, and he said, uh, "If you guys will let me see the footprint, I can tell you if it's Summer's foot because she has a very narrow foot like I do." So he doesn't know himself if that's
if,
Summer's footprint,
yeah,
according to Don.
it's interesting. I remember when Dave Rader from EquiSearch did an interview. It was either on Police Off the Cuff or Duty Ron. He
Yes.
was talking about the footprints, and he said, we heard a rumor that they had found a footprint on a adjacent property from the
Uh-huh.
wells. He said, but Ellie, in fact, would never even confirm that with EquiSearch. So he didn't
Right.
know the validity of it, whether it was true or not. Um, it just makes you wonder. And
This
gosh,
case is unlike anything I've ever seen.
it certainly is. I think about I know rumors have talked, or you've heard rumors probably about the scrap metal that was being sold down there, traded for car parts. Um,
No, I've
and look at
actually never heard of that.
you haven't,
No.
I think
Tell.
the neighbor FH had, when he did an interview with Ziggy, he was talking about taking some scrap metal and taking it to sell that day, actually. And I wonder,
Fred.
yes,
Yeah. He said he had to pull off the road or something because he was passing someone because he was taking scrap metal off. He was up and down the holler all day, right?
right, right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so that comes into play too. Was he hauling off? Did he mention a car, a junk car, perhaps?
I
You,
don't know.
I don't know.
I
It
need to go
just
back
you
and
think
look at the
about evidence potentially that was lost, and he may not have even been aware
Yep.
that there was even evidence
Bingo.
that was there. Right? He did
Mm-hmm.
mention that the dogs tracked the scent dogs. I don't know if it was search and rescue versus a cadaver dog. I'm not sure, but he said that they did track down his driveway, and that was
Yes.
after Dawn and Candace had come and gone.
Yep.
So that makes me wonder also,
Yep.
was there anything they had taken back there that had to do with Summer onto his property? And he may not have even been aware of it. But I have a feeling Fred probably has cameras around that property that could tell
I'm
him
trying.
if there was something nefarious going on, he would have seen. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if
And
he
then you
has
got
cameras.
the local gentleman that came into play who had previously worked at a car dealership.
Yep.
He had access to vehicles, I'm sure, if he was still working there. He worked on cars.
Mm-hmm.
Did he supply them with a vehicle for something?
Um,
These the Wells, that is.
they are connected to people that own car dealerships. Um,
And his father, right? He owned a
who
dealership
has,
himself that was closed down or
yeah,
shut down.
well, they have a big criminal.
So
I
I
can't
feel
really
like
talk
there's
about
possibly several players that are involved, several helping hands, let's just say that. And some of the statements that specifically the father has made,
them. Mm-hmm.
and you go back and you listen to this, and subconsciously, is he saying things that he's letting out that
Yep.
we can form into like scenarios or possibly what happened that day? And it seems to be pretty telling, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people could be linked to this that don't even know that they, you know.
Their actual involvement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder about that too.
Um,
Are
Duke
you
says,
coming to Summer's Day?
I don't know yet. It depends if I can manage it, with kids
Yeah.
and all of
Oh, yeah.
that. Um, Duke says Justin the van in the video cracking cases the dog trail up by the bus in the woods. Is it this van that's up in the woods? Is that what you mean? Um,
I don't know.
I just feel like there had, if the Wells are involved, there has to be more vehicles involved. Because you think about the horse stable, right?
Right?
What did they say? That vehicle was there all day. Well, they said one of the Wells vehicles was there all day. Well, how could one of the Wells vehicles be there all day when they were only there 20 minutes, according to Candace?
Right. Yeah, it's possible they jumped into a car of someone else's
Mm-hmm.
and left for a while and then came back, or they changed out vehicles.
Yep.
And it
There
was
had
interesting
to
the
be
other day,
trees.
the dad was speaking and he almost said Hunter and his friends
Mm-hmm.
when he was referring back to that day of Candace's, her accounts of what happened that day. And he was talking about going to the swimming hole. This was, I believe, on the behavioral panels, their extended interview. And if you guys haven't seen it, the behavioral panel put out a video about a month ago with the completely extended version. And there's some timestamps in the comments if you guys would like to check it out. It's really, it was kind of eye opening to kind
I
of go
haven't
back and
watched that
rewatch.
yet. I need to watch that.
Yeah, you would really, I think you would get probably some new feelings after seeing it after a while, and
Mm-hmm.
the certain things that have come out in the time since it originally posted.
Mm-hmm.
But he almost said that, and then he stopped himself and kind of redirected his point. So I think there may have potentially been other people that were around her that day. Um, God only knows what.
Mm-hmm. Um, you know, and I don't mean to diss Candace like this when I say this, but Candace doesn't seem like the type that she would be overly concerned about her mother's knee at, waking up at 7:30 in the morning and going to the emergency room.
Right.
Um, And it just feels too planned.
I
You
agree.
know, it just
I
feels too planned that day. And it makes
right
you
from
wonder why. Why take that little short video? What was it really an accident? Why take that photo on the milk jugs? And it's why go swimming for 20 minutes? Why did you just put a bathing suit on your daughter at 7:30 in the morning when you had no actual plan of going swimming that day until you're sitting in a parking lot and H either texts or calls you or you him?
exactly.
It's like, well, oh, it just so happens my daughter has a bathing suit on right on her person right now. Let's go swimming. um oh wait, it's going to be 30 minutes until the prescription is ready. We just happen to be right over here where, like, literally a stoplight across from the entrance of the park. Let's go swimming. When
Hmm.
there is another Walgreens that was closer to the hospital. hmm it just smells of premeditated. Are you there? Are you there, Birdie? Uh-oh. Okay. Hello, Smiley.
Hello, darling.
How are you doing?
It's crazy. How are you doing?
Living the dream. Living the dream.
Yep. Excuse how
Oh, you're breaking up.
I go in here.
Okay.
Ugh, I feel like a world.
I'm eating. Sorry. You have appointments for the ER, or do you just show up?
Hey,
Well, why? This is when COVID was at its max. Why? They didn't want you at an ER. What's up, Smiley?
okay. Sorry. It's been a whirlwind. Y'all excuse my hair and everything else. So I called the courthouse. Very interesting.
You
Hold
what?
on. I called the courthouse,
Uh-huh.
and Dawn does have fees.
Okay.
I got a recording here.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, if you want to hear it.
We'll clear that up. Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Let's do it.
let's do it. Hold on. You know Smiley here. Hold on a minute.
You're fine, baby. Exactly, Jana. Why the bathing suit? You waited 16 hours, Canadian cookie? Oh my god.
Oh God.
Hello, this is the Hawkins County.
I think this is it. Hold on.
Please note that our office hours are Monday through Friday.
I was doing it in such a
8 a.m.
hurry.
to 4 p.m. Closed for lunch between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. If you know your party's extension, please enter it now. If not, please stay on the line and the first available clerk will assist you.
I had to call 2 or 3 times. I hope this is it.
You're fine, man.
If I was not recording this lady the whole time, I don't know. I don't think this one's it. Hold on.
Hello.
That's not it.
I was eating, Jesse. I was eating those what are they? Starburst minis. Oh my God, I'm obsessed. Don could be been talking about himself being the guy in the woods looking for the kids. Looking beyond, I've always felt it was
Give me just a minute.
suspicious. Take your time, babe. Nobody's in a hurry. Starburst minis. Yes. Starburst, sponsor me, please. I'm a fat witch. I need Starburst. Thank you for letting me on panel. It's okay. It's okay, Birdie. Thank you so much for coming up and voicing your opinion. Guys, drop Birdie's link. Subscribe up to Birdie. Because my location was out one time. Sugar Rush, yes. You're obsessed with Dove chocolate. I'm obsessed with sugar. So, I guess we need to get I guess Smiley got a total for Daisy. 44 thumbs up to 400. Come on. You know you want to. Get it up. Sugar
All right,
is
Justin.
Yep.
It did. I don't know what I did, but anyway, it didn't record it. But it doesn't matter. Y'all see, I
Okay.
called. You see, I called.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, fuck you. Oh, excuse me. It's one of those mornings.
No.
I called 3 times, but anyway, I
She's
don't
like,
know.
don't worry about it.
I didn't push. All right, I wrote it down. This is what she said.
Okay.
Okay, so fair is fair. Um, all right, he does owe $4,141. That is
Okay.
on the 2020 charges way back.
Okay.
Okay, that has nothing to do with him being in jail or whatever. However, it's confusing because they do charge $15 a day.
Okay.
All right, but that's not showing up anywhere or anything. Now, she thinks his driver's license is already suspended. That's what she said. And
Oh.
yeah, and in this case, if it was anybody else, what they do is if they don't pay the fines,
They suspend your license.
they suspend your license.
Correct.
However, um, they can get a warrant for your arrest. She said what he needs to do is he needs to call in himself and make payment arrangements every month. He don't have to pay it all at once. He does not have to pay it all at once. No, they're not necessarily going to get a warrant for him for not paying. Just what I said. They're not going to do that. That's not
They
normal.
can, but they're not necessarily going to.
No, that's not what they do. Usually, any normal person, they would suspend your license, and she thinks his is already suspended. She does not show where he has another court date. Because I asked her, does he have a court date coming up? They don't show where he has a court date coming up.
Okay.
So that was interesting.
Uh-huh.
Um, so that was that. And I just asked her. The last time that he paid April 29th of this year, $535, which left that balance $4,141.
Interesting.
Yep,
So, he doesn't have to have it all at once.
absolutely not.
Okay.
He could call up there and make arrangements to pay 10, 20, whatever, but he needs to call in and pay it. And I just told her, I'm like, look, we're trying to figure out, we want to know, we want to help him. That's what I told her. I said, we're trying to help him and keep him out of jail if he's going to go to jail. We don't want to, I mean, I know you know all the other stuff, but we don't want him to go to jail on fines or, whatever. We're trying to figure out, but if he don't have to pay this, we're not trying to have him pay something that's not necessary. And then I said, forget Donald Wells. What would you do in a normal person's case? You know, if they had a fine and they did not pay. And I mean, I just talked to her normally because I can talk to people normal more than I can y'all or whatever, but
Mhm.
because I'm pretty good at phone calls, but y'all know that.
Um, that girl says there are two separate cases, question mark, charges for what charges or case do the fees apply to?
The ones back in 2020, I think it's 2020, were all of these are the charges for where he had the gun charges, the abuse, assault, all that. That's where the 4,100 come out. And I asked her, I said, what does disposed mean? It's showing where the disposed is for the October. It's the October 15th, 2020 charges.
So
And
are they charging him for the $15 a day?
well, she said she's not showing that. And I said, it's confusing because I said, I'm not showing that either on your website. I said,
It
your
doesn't
web,
say that on the website at all.
no, it does not. And I said, it's
Because he
not
said they're
showing that.
charging him $15 a day.
Yeah, but I asked her, I said, listen, I said, do y'all charge? She said, the jail does charge $15 a day. I wish I would have had that recording. And she said, they do charge $15 a day, but see, that don't mean they charge Don $15 a day for whatever reason. Y'all got to keep that in mind. He could have made a deal. He could have been indigent, anything. So it is a fee for $15 a day. But for whatever reason, she's not showing that, and we are not seeing that. The
Yes.
$4,100 is from October 15th of 2020.
Trev says, according to the website, he owes over $4,000 on DV/handgun arrest, but there was a payment made on May 10th of this year on DUI case, and it says zero owed.
And that's correct. That's correct. But she said the last payment he made on this 4140 was April 29th. And I don't know if they just posted it in May or not. She said the last payment was April 29th for 4141.
Mm-hmm. The
And I mean, it brought
$15
it
a
down.
day could be just uh, like what they charge, maybe even like the taxpayers or something.
Yeah. And I asked her again about the warrant. She said she's not showing any warrants, but if he has any, you need to call the Hawkins County and ask them, do they have any warrants out on him? I said, okay, but I didn't call yet.
They pay $15 a day when they go out on work release and come back to the jail at night and stay. That's how it is in Unicoi, Tennessee. Okay. That is true, Holly. Yes. Um, so, well, he does owe money, but it appears he doesn't owe money for daily charges of $15 a day.
No, and it's nothing new. So,
And how would he know what he owes if he hasn't been in contact with him? You know what I mean?
exactly. This is nothing new that they're over there trying to push to Miss Daisy. He already knew he owes this from back then, from 2020, before he even probably set eyes on Miss Daisy.
Or
This,
before he even went to jail.
yeah, before he went to jail. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
nothing.
These are old. Yeah.
They're trying to get their old things paid off, or they're trying to get money to not even pay their new stuff unless somebody just goes and hands it to the clerk of court. And then they're going to say, damn, they should have put that money in my cash app, in my opinion.
Right. Well. Well, we got that settled. So that's um I would say a half truth.
Yeah.
A
And there
half
lies a half truth in every bit of what they're telling, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what Don does. He gives half truths for everything, or he'll give two opinions or two different. He'll say yes and no to the same thing.
Agreed.
Yes, I did this, but no, I did.
Yeah,
It's just he works.
I agree. I agree.
Craziness, Smiley.
This whole case is crazy. These
Mhm.
last few days have been wild,
Yeah.
Justin.
What do you
Wow.
think about this van?
I don't know. I don't know what
Oh
to think anymore. It's like, woo.
my God, I know, I know. There's never been a case like this, and I think there'll never be a
It
case like
won't.
this again.
I
And there will
probably,
certainly never be another Don and Candace.
yeah. Oh, no. Mm-mm. We thought Casey Anthony was something else. That girl ain't got that. She looks like a Sally Home, Susie Homemaker compared to these two. Honestly, honestly,
Yeah,
there's nothing. I've never seen nothing like this.
I know. I know. So, Don, you should probably call there and make payment arrangements.
Yeah.
So, and make sure that they don't take your license, or make sure it's not suspended.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're probably driving. Listen, Don, you're probably driving around on a revoked license right now. And
You don't want to
although
get
you're
pulled over in another state.
in another state, and they're going to, even though you're trying to run and hide right now, they're going to haul you back to Hawkins County, son, and you're going to be seeing Ronnie Lawson again,
Yeah.
in my opinion, boy.
So if someone wants to donate, send it to the clerk of courts, Hawkins County, directly with its name on it, or call and give credit card information. Yeah, that's a way to do it.
Yeah,
If those people want to donate, uh, from Daisy's chat or whoever, they can just have it set up straight to the. But I don't want to pay for the sins of another person, so
mm-mm.
that's me. But if someone else wants to, that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
They
go
can call
for it.
right there and they'll take a credit card right over the phone, or you do it online.
That's right. That's right. But Justin, I'm gonna hop down from here, and I love y'all, and
Love you
I
too,
just wanted
honey.
to let you know the latest. And
Well, I appreciate you calling. That's awesome. Thank you for
you're
clearing
welcome.
it up.
You're welcome.
Any clarity we can get in this case, whether it's small or not, it's good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, y'all have a great day, and I'm gonna
Too, my
go
love. I'll see you. You'll be live later, right?
be live some point probably.
Okay. All right. I'll see you in chat later.
Love y'all. Bye.
All right. Love you too, honey. Me either, butterfly. But if Don wants to pay his, if he wants to pay, he truly wants to pay his fines off. That's a great way they can do it. Straight up to Hawkins County. I'm sure that they need the revenue to make the county go. The boys didn't want them to come back, yet they contribute, receiving physical labor and collecting money to fix the house. Yeah, they did. That's absolutely true. Vet Girl. What did Vet Girl say? Felon Fund is a good name. Yeah, Felon Fund. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to jump off here. I've been on here an hour and 40 minutes or so. So, this is, we played that Jody Sue thing where I was talking to her the other night. It kind of got my research team and I thinking about there has to be another vehicle. And this one definitely looks red, and it looks like clear coat is off, and it's definitely dusty. I'm not saying this is the one, but I am saying they owned something like this. And it's an interesting thing to know. Could she be visiting some? I have no regular bills. Where is all Dawn money? Who knows? They have no. So I think Don said they're paying $320 a week for their motel. Every fine someone pays, make sure to ask who the primary suspect is. Just a thought. Yeah. Thank you, Mountain Cat. So, nobody was bashed in the making of this video. Just want to make sure you understand, Miss Daisy. Nobody is being bashed in the making of this video. We are trying to get clear answers in the El Rocho Motello. Exactly. I see you. That's a lot of money, Jab. But anyway, thank you all. They didn't pay 33 cents a day for their kids. But, go figure, right? Can't pay 33 cents a day for your children. That's exactly right. And people who had differing opinions in here today is free to express them. Thank you all. God bless each and every single one of you, even the ones who just simply don't like me for whatever reason. I appreciate you being here. Justice for Summer can't stop, won't stop until we have answers. Yes, Selena, I can. I'll look more into that. Love you, Kathy. Thank you all. God bless. I'll see you on the next one. I may be live later this evening at some point. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.